Hey, I'm Will, and these are lemon butter green beans. I'm going to show you my method for lending these dense veggie tubes a vibrant citrus bath. Thanks to one pan for simmering, sautéing, and building the sauce, this layered dish is made simple, even if some ingredients vary in nicheness and necessity. We'll start with phase 1 of the LBGB, the lemon butter sauce. Lemon butter likely originated in 16th century Europe. By this time, the lemon had left its home in the Assam region of India, developing a cultivation hotspot in Genoa, Italy. The first evidence butter making was in Neolithic Africa, but Europe's cooler climate aided long-term storage of the spread. By the time lemons were ubiquitous, butter dependence was in full swing, especially after Roman Catholic Popial approval allowed butter as Lent fodder. The English were notorious butterheads, quick to sauce cooked anything with the stuff. It was even used as lamp fuel during times of scarcity. As both lemons and butter became prominent in European kitchens, their power in conjunction was soon realized. Organization will set you free when prepping the sauce. Especially once the heat's on, I need everything in front of my ADHD face. First, let's get some lemons rolling. This'll deteriorate their insides, get those juices flowing for the squeeze. Since any singular fruit's juice varies in amount and potency, I'll set aside a generous 2 lemons worth. Tbsp Extra, you can always use it to flavor a shot or clean your counters, I don't know. Next, a good quality butter. Even my broke college ass breaks out the Kerrygold, but do what you can in your circumstances. I'll harvest 2 tablespoons, plus a couple of thin pats to use as needed. Tbsp Extra for toast or butter frisbee? Just this dynamic duo would certainly yield a delicious sauce. However, experimentation has yielded a lineup of trinkets that reveal a complex, layered, and damn tasty potion, to my mind. I especially like the idea of layering fat, acidity, and vegetation to support the leads, at lengths and levels that are liable to impending arbitrary rankings. First, some aromatic bolster from flowering friends. I will French a shallot, that is, moil off the tip, peel, then thinly slice radially around the globe's pole, root to tip. Then slice off the root to render the perfect pan sauce partner. Their sauce-soaking ability converts them to vehicles for concentrated flavor on the palate. Very nice. Next, supporting bite from 2 cloves of garlic, whose musky undertones against the clean citrus flavor will be tasty indeed. I simply smash these skins open, peel, and finally hack at to a minced pile. Set aside separately. The last thing to chop for sauce is a secret weapon of sorts, preserved lemons. Internet-bound foodies may know their lemons that ferment in their own salted juice, developing a deep lemony, umami backbone. These are optional, but firmly establish lemon as the prevailing flavor. After rinsing, I'll reap about half a tablespoon of chopped peel. The rest of the ingredients are ones I trust myself to eyeball, so they'll simply be on standby. For extra fat, extra virgin olive oil. A heavy drizzle lends robust fruity fat to well contrast the creamy and soft butter fat. Layering acid means reaching for some sherry vinegar after sautéing. Adding it first will deglaze the pan and give it time for its volatile astringency to cook off. That way, citrus is still the star source of acidity. I like Dijon mustard for more zing. Very tasty in lemon butter, and it contains emulsifiers that will help the fat and liquid phases of our sauce unite under velvety hood. I'll employ an edger on these acids with some honey. I think its sweetness accentuates some of the natural floral flavors of the dish, or maybe not all my perceptions are reality. For some heat to balance the sweet in our good eats, I usually use chili flakes, but lately I have been Aleppo Pepper pilled. This pepper showcases a wide scope of fruity characteristics outside of its heat. Definitely not necessary, but try some this lifetime, won't you? We'll also have salt and pepper under supervision to add to taste. Okay, sauce prep done. We move on to something new, the cast of the namesake part 2, the green beans, aka immature Great Northern beans, aka Mesoamerican native Phaceolus vulgaris, whose variants comprise a majority of humanity's cultivated beans. After becoming a European resident via the Atlantic slave trade, the pods were susceptible to opportunities. Opportunities for genetic variety, and opportunities for a lemon butter treatment. I have a pound of green beans here that I'm liberating of dry tips, splitting to desired length, and loading to my widest and most sexy sauté pan as I go. Although navy beans they are not, a taste of the Maritimes is coming. The pan gets filled with rinsing water, which will subject to a swirly dirly before draining with a pot lid. This will be practice for draining the cooked beans later, and that way you have no strainer to wash. Now, refill with enough water to cover the beans and add 2 whole tablespoons of salt. Thanks to osmosis and diffusion, the high concentration of minerals in the water, namely salt, will diffuse from the water into the bean's low concentration interior. Now this inward flow is good. The water-bound salt is traveling into the bean instead of the bean's nutritious minerals regurgitating out into the water. The result is a bean that gets seasoned as it cooks while retaining nutrients. So, salting your water is not only tastier, it's better for you. I slap the lid on this pan, letting the beans heat up with the water. Save energy. Once boils are rolling, I'll drop to a simmer until they're just tender to the tooth. That'll take a couple of minutes. The lid is my drain guard, bye-bye salty bean broth, and we will return to the heat at a good sauté temperature. 7 works for me. I don't know about you and your stove though. Alright, in goes our butter with the shallot, along with a pinch of salt, and as much pep as you're willing to step. Sauté in that rich, milky fat. So good. Once I see some bona fide browning after a couple minutes, we know we can start to deglaze with the sherry vinegar. But wait! Try a bean. All these acidic ingredients will heavily inhibit bean pectins, or bectines, from softening the interior. I'm satisfied with the texture, so I add a few dashes of that vinegar. Red wine vinegar would work, or lemon juice if you opt out of such an acid. Now, immediately follow that with the everything else. A teaspoon or so of that mustard, a similar size squeeze of honey, the preserved lemons, a drizzle of the olive oil, and lemon juice last, so its fresh taste prospers. I'll cook the sauce down for 1 more minute, taking advantage of this pan's surface area. Then, kill the heat and toss in a butter disc, fresh emulsifiers galore, delivering us at the final checkpoint. Here, we taste and adjust as needed. More salt for saltiness, butter or honey to cut the acidity, or more lemon juice to crank it. Nothing to do now but serve, immediately. Perhaps you can add some fresh lemon zest here if yours are free of P, L. When I make this for me and my queer friends, we enjoy our LBGT, LBGB alongside a nice saucy pasta. Spaghetti aglio olio's, however you say it, musky garlic oil sauce is a great plate mate with our lemon butter. But no matter what main you muster, this side will shine. Pan sauces are great playgrounds for experimentation. Endow lemon juice and butter with what you like and have access to, and you'll find success. Now, go eat some beans.